What is up, everybody? It's your boy R2, and today I have new information regarding Marvel's Daredevil Netflix series and how it will connect to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and also what we might get as opposed to villains and characters. Now, Jeff Loeb, who is a writer and producer, answers this question: how is Daredevil connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And he is quoted saying this: "It does take place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's all connected, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we will look up in the sky and see Iron Man. It's just a different part of New York that we have not yet seen in the Marvel movies. Within the Marvel Universe, there are thousands of heroes of all shapes and sizes, but the Avengers are here to save the universe, and Daredevil is here to save the neighborhood," Loeb adds. "It's a very unique look at Hell's Kitchen in New York, where Matt Murdock grew up and continues to defend it from people who would harm the people that live there." End quote. Now, I like that. It's a real good idea, because obviously people are wondering, how is it going to connect to the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Just like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. connects to Marvel Cinematic Universe, like the real Captain America stuff. And I like how they're doing it, you know. It's in New York, it's in the universe, but it's a different part of New York that we haven't seen yet. You know, that dirty, groundy, that dirty, evil side that we haven't seen yet of New York, even though New York is pretty crazy. And it's crazy up in New York, I gotta tell you that much. But I haven't been there, but I know it's crazy. But continue on, Jeff Loeb adds a little something more. You know, he gives him why he's called the man without fear, but adding that he is afraid. So I'm just gonna tell you what he said. "Someone who does not have fear literally does not experience fear. It's not that interesting. The way I like to think about it is that he is a man with fear, but he on a daily basis decides to confront that fear and to overcome it. So the title of the man without fear is almost a title that the public in his world gives him just because of what he does, but inside himself he's very afraid at times, and he finds a way to confront those fears and punch through it." Now that's really good. I mean, I was never really a fan of Daredevil. I mean, I hear a lot of great things about Daredevil, but just hearing this makes me I really want to know more about this character. Like, that's awesome. You know, he's fearful, but he knows in order to beat the bad guy, and essentially he has to overcome that fear and fight his way through it. I think that's wonderful. I think that's a beautiful concept, a beautiful idea, very motivating, I would say. He's blind, man, and he's fighting for the good of his neighborhood, so that's pretty awesome, man. This Daredevil Netflix series, I'm really excited for this. Now, as to villains, you know, and characters, both Jeff Loeb and Steve DeKnight, who is executive producer and the showrunner of the Daredevil Netflix series, had to say something about Kingpin and Daredevil. Loeb had to say, "This season is about both the rise of the hero and the rise of the villain," while Steven DeKnight says, "Fist has very different aspects, so it's not all I want to conquer the city and make a lot of money. In our story, we tell the story of how he met his wife, Vanessa, and how they fell in love. Our antagonist actually has a love story. That's the love story you're following, the one you're invested in, and seeing how that affects him and changes him. I think Vincent brings such depth to it. His performance is just outstanding." Now, if you don't know, Vincent D'Onofrio plays Kingpin, so sorry I butchered that name. I'm really sorry. But Vincent D'Onofrio plays Kingpin. So that's who he's talking about in the description. So Kingpin is going to have a soft side to him with Vanessa and the love story. You know, I like love stories, you know, they're interesting. If you put them in the right way, if you execute them the right way, I think it'd be really effective to the story and to the overall tone of the show. So I really like that. And then the final closing thoughts is on Steven Knight regarding the character of Bullseye. He goes on to say, not this season, but I'll give you the full quote. He says, "I wouldn't say there's no plans to include the character in the series. It's not to say he wouldn't be in the series at some point, but I think if you try to jam in too many characters, it just becomes a mess. And Bullseye's story was told in the last iteration of Daredevil that anybody saw. My feeling was, why repeat it? And honestly, if you're looking for a juicy, multifaceted crime drama, Wilson Fisk was the obvious choice to play the antagonist. Bullseye is a little more cut and dry. Not to say you couldn't make him fantastic over 13 hours, but Fisk really felt like the right yin to the yang for Matt, and for what we wanted to do this season." Close quote. Now, there you go, guys. All the information so far regarding Marvel's Daredevil Netflix series if you're not really into it, you should really jump on the bandwagon. You should really jump on the train. I think this Daredevil Netflix series will be something great, way better than the movie. We all hope so. Daredevil stars Charlie Cox as Daredevil, Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, and Deborah Ann Woll as Karen Page, and is set to be released in 2015 with the rumored date of May 1st. Yep, the same day Age of Ultron releases in theaters. So that's just the rumor, but I'm really excited and I cannot wait to see this Daredevil Netflix series. I'm really excited for it. I think as soon as Daredevil kicks off, aka Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, The Defenders really kicks off, I think you can finally really compete Marvel television with DC television. Because you know, DC TV is owning comic book movies. I mean, comic book TVs right now. DC is owning comic book TV right now. So Marvel has to step it up a little. But I really like the way they're going right now. So let me know your thoughts down below. How do you feel about everything I just mentioned about Daredevil, about Kingpin, the rise of the hero and the rise of the villain? Let me know your thoughts down below. And it's your boy R2 reminding you to stay nerdy, my friends.